Well, I left my, what is it called?
Your Osmo?
I left my Osmo Pocket at the shop today, so I'm doing it on my phone. But so today is the last day of a full sleeve I'm working on. It's a 3-dayer with my homie Keanu. He's from Maui. One fucking hammer. Shout out to Maui. But I'm gonna just pretty much go through it again, show you guys the way that I map it out, just the same vibes. This one's a little different because it's a different tattoo, so there's a little bit of a different aspects in there. There's different symbols, different meanings, different flow. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be dope. He was hurting. He kept on having to put numbing cream. I remember one time we had 30 minutes left and he asked me twice. He was like, hey, toss that numbing cream on again. I'm like, bro, it's gonna take 45 minutes for it to kick in, or we could just use that 30 minutes to just finish the tattoo. You're just gonna have to deal with it, bro. Come on, bro. Come on. But luckily we did all the hard stuff first. We did the upper arm first, and then we did the middle of the arm, which is like the crease of the elbow. And then now we're just gonna do the forearm. So that spot is not too bad, but it's a lot easier than everything else. Today was a super chill day. This morning, we're getting started pretty late. I pretty much just woke up. It's like 12 or 1 o'clock already. I gotta be at the shop by 3. But we woke up hella early for a little bit, looked at the markets to day trade. Nothing was really going on. If you guys are familiar with day trading, FOMC was today. Jerome Powell was speaking. It was a pretty shitty trading day, honestly. I didn't take any trades. Actually, I did. I took a gold trade on an evaluation account. I made about $1,000, so I'm a little bit closer to passing my account. And then I'm copy trading 5 more evaluations where I'm down $90 because somehow I got stopped out before I got in profits. I don't know. I make super tight stop losses. It's just crazy. I need to stop doing that. I need to just let it breathe. That's what she tells me. She's just like, let it breathe a little bit.
Let it breathe.
She made $20,000 yesterday. A little bit over that, actually. No, she made, at the end of yesterday, she was up 35 bands over 2 accounts trading gold or silver minis. It's crazy. Insane. I don't even know why we're tattooing. But guys, I'll check back with you guys in a few. When I get back to the shop and have this Osmo Pocket out, we'll get some better quality videos. And then if you guys have any questions, just drop them in the comments. Got to the shop. I just got here, about to start tattooing. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna throw a time lapse of tattooing as much as I can before the thing dies. So enjoy the video. I might do a voiceover to my voiceover some of it, so I could just talk to you guys what I'm thinking, what I'm doing, so on and so forth. And then towards the end of the video, we'll just overview it and see how the tattoo looks. I'm finishing the sleeve today, so I'm super excited about that. I'm not sure how long we'll be tattooing for, but I'm happy that I saved the forearm for last because everything else is the most painful. The forearm's pretty easy compared to everything else, but check it out. All right, guys, we're about to get started here. So I get a lot of questions on what kind of tools I use to tattoo. So I use a Bishop wand packer. It's the newer version. It has a specific name, but if you're familiar with Bishop, it came out with a newer version of the Bishop wand. I have that one. The critical battery plugs right into it. I have the bigger version of the battery, so it's got a little bit more of a battery life to it. So the Packer has a 4.2 stroke. There's 2 other versions, the 3.5 stroke and the 5.0 stroke. I don't really use those. The Packer's the best for me because it's right in the middle. It's a sweet spot. It can pretty much do anything. So I run my line work with a 5-round shader by Quadrin. It's a standard taper, medium taper, no bug pin or anything. Just a basically, it's a traditional liner is the way that I like to tattoo. It just produces those super thick lines. It kind of feels like a 9-round liner, even though it's a 5-round shader or 5 traditional, however you like to call it. And then for shading, I run Quadrin as well. I run a 15 curve mag for the smaller spaces, but I mainly stick to the 23 curve mag. So a lot of people ask me how I get my blacks that dark and that smooth. It's really just the 23. Like that 23 curve mag or even anything bigger like a 25 or 27, it just produces such smooth black in those big areas. As you can see, I tattoo really big dark areas and it just gets a nice smooth fill on those areas. So imagine you have a really big black space and you're filling that in with a small magnum. You're gonna see a lot of that chop in there where the needles overlap each other. With a bigger magnum, you're not really gonna get that. You'll see that it's a smooth shade, a smooth black. You won't really get that overlap. So that's my tip on packing black. a bigger needle, a bigger Magnum. It's a standard medium taper, no bug pin or anything, just a straight standard. But that's my setup. I run my machine at 7 volts for shading, and then I bounce between 7 and 7.5 for lining. It really depends on the body part I'm on and my hand speed, but 7 is a pretty good sweet spot for me for all the needles. I never change my voltage. I just pop the needle in, change it, keep the voltage the same, so on and so forth. So right now I'm lining up looks like I'm doing some shark teeth right now. I freehand everything. I never pre-draw a lot of my motifs. I just do the lines. I'll hit it with a marker and then hit it over with the skin pen. I really like these skin pens. You can get them from Amazon, but I get mine from Coalition. Shout out to Coalition Tattoo Supply for keeping me stocked at all times. I live like 10 minutes away, so it's kind of dangerous. I try to limit my time there. I try to go twice a month and try to stack up on everything and not buy a new machine. Because I used to just buy machines, dude. I would just buy the next best tattoo machine. But yeah, Bishop has been treating me well. But shout out to Coalition. Keep me stocked on everything. The skin pens are great. And the reason I really like them is because when you're doing these huge tattoos, my hands are everywhere. It amazes me when they keep their stencils so clean. They're so precise. I just grab the arm and tattoo it. I'm not heavy-handed, but I be grabbing that motherfucker though. I just be grabbing, I be stretching it, and I tattoo it. So a lot of the stencil wipes away. The cool thing about those pens is even over petroleum jelly or hustle butter, whatever you use to moisturize the skin, just give it a little wipe, that skin pen will wipe right over it. Whereas you have a normal pen or a Sharpie, that petroleum kills the pen. Kills the Sharpie. It'll deplete it. You only get like another use out of it for like a couple more lines, and then you have to throw it away or replace it. So those skin pens are great, and they work on any skin type. They're just great. You guys got to try them out. There's these little skinny metal things, and they look like what you pull out of a normal pen. They look like the internals of a pen, and the ball on the end just rolls nicely on it. It rolls nicely on the skin. It's amazing. It's actually a cheat code. I actually really appreciate those pens now that I think about it. But yeah, I'm just lining up now, pulling my lines. I pull a lot of my lines towards me and away from me. So, you know what? I was actually telling my wife this, who's also my apprentice at the shop. She's like, how do I pull lines? And I'm like, well, it's easier if you start pulling them towards you. That's the best way you gain control, is pulling everything towards you, because you could see the line. It's not getting blocked by the machine. If you're pulling it backwards and using the back side of the needle, if you do that, it hides the line, so then you have to guess where you're going. But when you pull it towards you, you have full control. But what I was telling her was, down the path of your career, if you can learn how to pull any line in any direction from the same position, you're a fucking professional. And I'm still working on that. 9 and 10 years in, I'm trying to do these shapes from one position. So what I mean is, I don't have to reposition the client. I don't have to reposition myself much. If I could pull a line from any angle, that's how I know that I'm comfortable with what I'm doing. I've mastered every angle. I've mastered the body. I've mastered how to pull lines from any angle. You guys get it, right? So it was an interesting concept. Right here, I'm freehanding completely these designs. And what's going through my head is, okay, I'm marking these invisible guidelines in my head. And that starts with a foundation. And that foundation is one line. I'll put one line down, and I'll usually have a stencil of that one line. And with that one line, my brain then generates all the other parallel lines that go next to it. And I'm like, okay. Some people panic right here. Sometimes I do too. I'm like, this next line has to be perfect because it's gonna be on this motherfucker forever. So it's gotta be parallel. It's gotta be perfect. The spacing's gotta be the same throughout every single line that you do. And that's what I'm thinking about right now. So I'm pulling these lines. The next one I do has to be parallel, same spacing. So I've trained my brain to calculate how far these lines need to be apart and how that spacing is going to carry through and be cohesive and all match and be mathematically correct without me having to draw it. So this is what I think that you guys should do. You guys should not just freehand everything. If you're a beginner or if you still have work to do to make your tribal better, don't freehand everything like I do. Because I started freehanding things from the very beginning. I never drew out my designs, but it took me until now to master that. That was 9 years ago, right? Whereas my apprentice has been tattooing for less than a year, and my wife just started. and they're drawing out everything with strategy. They're using the measurements of the pen to space out the little squares and the grid that they're laying down. And you know what? I'll actually make a video of that. That'll be a pretty dope video of how I can use the pen to measure everything. And you guys might already do it. You guys might already know what I'm talking about. But in the beginning, I would recommend that you guys draw at least the grid, because when you have a grid there, you don't question yourself. You don't have that doubt of, am I going to be able to pull this line through the elbow? Especially the elbow. Like, the elbow is crazy. If you're freehanding through the elbow at a young tattoo age, if you're new at this, and you're freehanding through the elbow or these weird spots on the arm, most likely you're going to fuck it up. So don't get too confident and just pick up the pen, take the extra time and draw it. Now, I've got so many reps in that I don't really need to do this. I can understand how the body works, and while I'm stretching my client's skin, I'm just understanding how his elbow feels. So if I stretch it, I know this is how it looks stretched and this is how it looks unstretched. So when I stretch it and pull a free-handed line, it looks wonky, but I've mastered that. So when I unstretch it, the line goes back to normal, how it's supposed to look. So that takes a lot of mathematical internal thought, and your brain really needs to understand how the skin works, how the skin looks when it's like this versus this, right? So with all that being said, drawing on the design and really taking the time to do that and just go the extra mile to take time and draw everything out, you'll learn slowly of how to freehand things. You'll get the gist of it. And if you're already freehanding the designs, if you're already drawing the designs in and tattooing straight over all the stencil lines you made, and you want to challenge yourself, I would say now just start drawing grids instead of every design, instead of every line, every shark tooth, every detail. Just start drawing grids and then freehand the lines off the grids, and do that for a few months. And then slowly transition to, let me dwindle down this grid and let me just draw a middle line through the middle of these shark teeth. And then let me use my brain to try to space this while freehanding it. You'll know when you're comfortable on when to start freehanding things and saving time, because the reason why I freehand is not to say, like, oh, look, I freehanded this, I didn't use any stencil. Obviously, yes, that's a flex in some eyes, but in my eyes, it's efficiency. My client is sitting here for 3 days straight, getting tatted, standing up for X amount of time for drawing on these lines. It takes me 15 to 20 minutes to draw the grid with my pen. And that's still a long time for the client, standing up and just standing there, staying still, especially if they have ADHD. So I'm thinking efficiency. I'm not trying to rush it, but I'm trying to be efficient. And I can do that because I know exactly how it works. So think about it. How are you going to make the process efficient for yourself and for your client? Because at the end of the day, if you have efficiency and if you have quality, and both of those things coincide together and coexist together, and you're able to pull off an amazing tattoo while being efficient, while doing a full sleeve in under 12 hours over the span of 3 days, you're saving your client so much time, so much pain, so much uncomfort. So even though your client has to understand that this is a tattoo, that this is a crazy process and they're gonna hurt, still try to practice on building that efficiency so you can give your clients a better experience, and you can give them a reason to come back and get tattooed and really enjoy the experience. And at the end of the day, they don't know what's going on. They don't know what's going through your mind, but they'll appreciate it. Oh man, this dude's quick. This girl's quick. She did my tattoo hella fast. It looks hella good. It looks like she spent way more time than she actually did. That's a flex. That's the real flex. And efficiency is probably the biggest part in tattooing. And over the years, I've learned that building the efficiency, cutting down my time, but also taking the quality to a different level, it's awesome. I'm still doing it. I'm still trying to build my quality. Sometimes I look at my work and I'm like, yo, I need to step my game up. I need to do better. Because then I got my apprentice and my wife that's like already almost as good as me. And I've been tattooing for 10 times as long as they have. And I'm looking at them like, damn, they're fresh in this game. They have all this energy. They have all this, that greenness that new artists have, and they're killing it. So it puts me accountable for my pieces. And it really helps me reflect on my tattoos and how they turn out. And every little tiny flaw that I see in them, I notice it. And I'm like, oh, you know what? I do need to take more time on this spot, and I know where to take my time, and I know how to fix this little spot, and also know where to be efficient. I know where I'm completely comfortable so on and so forth. So those are cool things to think about. Those are good things to think about. And at the end of the day, you're here for your client and they're here for you. So do the best job you can. And we can add on to that by saying at the same time, learn about the tribal, learn about the meanings. And shoot, even after so long, I don't know everything. I feel like I've only learned 10% of everything. There's still things that I wouldn't say wrong about, but there's still things that are in the air. We weren't there when they created this stuff. When they created these traditional tattoos, we weren't there. We're in 2026 now, where we're just learning what the people before us learned, and they weren't there. And then they were learning what the people before them. It's just a generational thing where we have to keep this alive and try to really just pass it on to the next generation. And this is why I make these videos. This is why I have an Instagram. This is why I try to use my platform to really grow that knowledge, which is why I don't understand why some artists are like, and it's a lot of tribal artists too, where they're like, I've worked so hard for this and I'm gonna gatekeep it, or whatever mentality that is, which I understand, because this is real sacred stuff and it's not for everybody, but in the right hands, it's gonna go a long way. And if I die without sharing it, then what if it dies with me? And then that's less knowledge that the next person has. All right, so here's the finished product. We finished in 3 days, just under 12 hours. Homie sat like a rock. But yeah, check it out. So this is Hawaiian style. This is my take on modern Hawaiian style. Like I said before, there's still so much I have to learn. There's so much that I haven't learned, but I took what I do know and I incorporated it into the tattoo to represent his island, his family, his life, his journey. And yeah, this is what we came up with. So my style has a lot of heavy shading. It has dimension. It looks like something's going under something else, and that's going under another thing. So that's pretty much why people come to me, is because I have that specific like niche in the market to where everything looks three-dimensional, you know. But yeah, I utilize the black well. If you guys watch my last video, I kind of talk about contrast, and this is a great example of contrast. This is a great example of balancing black and skin tone. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if you love the content, please like and subscribe for more content like this. I'll be trying to post as much as I can. I'm trying every day right now, but if you're in your tribal journey or just tattoo journey in general, and you guys like the content, yeah, come check me out. I'll be giving game as much as I can. I'll try to break down everything. And if you guys have any comments or questions, just shoot a comment down below. And if you're a tribal artist yourself and you have any game, you have any knowledge to share, please drop it below too. I mean, our responsibility is to share, give knowledge, and, you know, make sure that each and every one of us is winning. Each and every one of us is doing it right, or as close to right as possible. So thank you guys. Much love.